That tiny notification on your phone is not just a message, it is a dangerous gamble your brain starts chasing. In fact, your brain is chasing a small possibility. Did someone notice me? Did I get a message? Did the likes go up? Was it seen? And without realizing it, you begin to hand over your inner peace to little blue ticks, notification sounds, and other people's reactions. In other words, you begin to attach your self-worth to the approval coming from the outside world. And this is where an important part of modern anxiety begins. Because our brain reacts very strongly to uncertain rewards. Every time you pick up your phone, you do not know exactly what you will find. Maybe there is a beautiful message. Maybe you got a like. Or maybe there is nothing. But it is exactly this uncertainty that pushes you to check again and again. At the center of this cycle is dopamine. Dopamine is not just about happiness. It is more about anticipation, seeking, and the feeling of, will the next reward come? So the issue is not just loving your phone, it is your brain being stimulated each time for a small possibility. A notification arrives, you feel short-term relief. Then that relief fades. After a while, the urge to check starts again, because the brain does not only chase the reward, it also chases the possibility of reward. You begin to perceive being seen by others as approval and reward. This is why social media is so powerful, because it constantly offers you small possibilities of approval. If you have learned to take your worth not from within, but from other people's reactions, social media stops being just a place of entertainment. It turns into a place where you measure yourself. Pause and think honestly. When was the last time you did something simply because you wanted to, not because someone else would see it? If you feel worthless when one of your posts gets fewer likes, if you feel anxious when someone replies late to your message, if you start seeing your own life as lacking when you look at other people's lives, then the issue is no longer technology. The issue is that your sense of self is slowly becoming attached to the reactions of the outside world. In other words, how you see yourself becomes dependent on how others see you. A positive comment makes you happy, but at the same time, a negative comment can ruin your entire day. What you need is to be able to feel valuable, even without either of these. That is why social media is not harmful on its own. It becomes harmful when the meaning you attach to it grows too large. When you present every moment of your life to other people's approval, you also leave your self-worth at the mercy of others. And this keeps the mind in a constant state of alarm. Waiting for notifications, checking messages, comparing yourself, wanting to be seen. All of these may seem small, but over time they create a heavy burden in your inner world. Because being constantly connected often weakens your connection with yourself. The more you wait for someone else's approval, the less you hear your own inner voice. The more you see someone else's pace, the more you underestimate your own rhythm. The more you look at someone else's life, the more you start to believe your own life is missing something. This biological search is what turns social media, for you, from entertainment into an approval exam. If you feel this way, ask yourself, am I truly connecting right now? Or am I only seeking approval? Am I really resting, or am I stimulating my mind even more? Is the thing I do to rest actually making me more tired? Is this screen good for me, or is it pulling me away from myself? Because inner peace becomes fragile when it is handed over to every notification that comes from the outside. Returning to yourself does not always begin with quitting your phone completely. Sometimes it begins with noticing what you are checking and why. If you also realize that you measure your worth according to other people's reactions, you can access my free guide where I explain self-worth from a psychological perspective through the link in the description. Subscribe to understand yourself without blaming yourself.